The promise in a quiet town surrounded by forests and wide empty fields lived a girl named Lena. She was only 12 years old, full of questions, full of dreams. Her life was simple: school, books, drawing in her notebook, and watching the stars at night from her window. But everything changed the day she met Eli. He was a strange boy. He had no parents anyone knew of. He lived with an old woman who never spoke much. Some said he was her grandson. Others said he just showed up one day and she took him in. No one really knew. Eli was different. He didn't talk much. He didn't laugh when the other kids made jokes. He would sit under the big oak tree at lunch alone, drawing strange shapes in the dirt. Lena was the only one who wasn't afraid to talk to him. "What are you drawing?" she asked him one day, kneeling beside him. Eli looked up. His eyes were pale blue, almost silver in the sunlight. "Stars," he said simply. "But those don't look like our stars." "Oh, they're not," he replied. "They're from far away." From that day, they became friends. They would meet at the oak tree every day. Lena would bring him her sketches, and Eli would show her star maps, drawn from his memory. He told her things about space, about planets with red oceans, moons that could sing, and winds that never stopped blowing. "How do you know all this?" Lena asked once. Eli just smiled. "I remember." Time passed. Summer turned to autumn. Their bond grew stronger. They were just kids, but something about their friendship felt old, like it had happened before, maybe in another life. One evening, as the sky turned orange and pink, they sat together on a hill. Lena picked wildflowers and braided them into a small ring. "Here," she said, placing it on Eli's finger. "Now you're married to the stars." Eli looked at the ring for a long time, then at Lena. "Someday," he said quietly, "I'll marry you." She laughed. "You're just saying that." "No," he said. "I promise." But something in his voice made her stop smiling. That week, Eli started acting strange. He would look up at the sky more often, as if waiting for something. His drawings got more complex. Symbols, circles, glowing orbs. Lena didn't understand them. "Are you okay?" she asked. He nodded but didn't speak. Then one morning he was gone. No one saw him leave. No note. No goodbye. The old woman said she woke up and his bed was empty. She looked for him for days, but Eli had vanished. The town searched the forests, the rivers, the hills. Police came, dogs tracked his scent. Nothing. People said he must have run away. But Lena didn't believe it. He promised. Years passed. Lena grew up. She tried to move on, but a part of her never let go. Every year, on the same date, she would climb the hill where they sat that evening and look at the stars. Sometimes, she brought a small flower ring and left it there, just in case. At 22, Lena still lived in the same town. She worked at a bookstore and spent her nights sketching scenes of stars and strange planets. She never told anyone, but her dreams were often filled with a boy's voice whispering, "I promise." Then one night everything changed. The sky lit up with a flash of green. Not lightning, not fireworks. Something else. People came outside. Phones came out. Someone said it was a meteor. Others said it was a plane crashing. But Lena felt something familiar. Her heart beat faster as she walked out into the field. Above the hills, a strange light hovered for a moment, then dropped fast into the woods. Everyone watched. Sirens started. People shouted. But Lena didn't move. She stared at the place where the light disappeared. The same hill. The same place. She whispered one word, barely a breath. "Eli?" And far away in the trees, something moved. The stranger, from the sky the night after the sky lit up. The town was no longer silent. Sirens echoed in the distance. Searchlights swept across the forest. People stood in small groups, whispering, pointing toward the hills. Something had fallen from the sky, something that didn't belong. The next morning, the news was everywhere. Meteor crash outside town. Military on site. No injuries, but area under lockdown. But Lena knew it wasn't a meteor. It was him. She didn't know how she knew. There were no facts, no proof, just a deep pull inside her chest, like a string had been tied between her and whatever had come from the stars. While others stayed away, Lena did the opposite. That night she packed a flashlight, a notebook, and the same small flower ring she used to make as a child. She walked into the woods alone, toward the crash site. The forest was darker than usual. No insects, no wind, no birds. As she walked, deeper, the silence pressed against her ears. Then she saw it. A clearing, burned into the ground like a black crater. Trees bent outward. Ash floated in the air, but no fire, no heat. And in the center, something impossible. A structure. Metallic, but not like any metal she'd ever seen. It shimmered like water, but held its shape. Floating symbols circled its sides, glowing blue and pulsing slowly. It was breathing. She stepped closer, heart pounding. Then she heard a voice. Lena. She froze. It wasn't a shout. It wasn't loud. It was inside her head. Who's there? She whispered. No reply. Just the name again. Lena. She turned to run, but standing at the edge of the trees was a figure. Tall, human-shaped, wearing something like armor, but smooth, shining like the stars themselves. His face was hidden under a silver mask, but his posture, it was familiar. Her feet moved on their own. She stepped closer. Slowly. Breath held. Who are you? She asked. The figure tilted his head. He reached up, touched the side of his mask, and removed it. Lena gasped. His face was older, sharper, but the eyes, pale blue, almost silver. Eli? She breathed. He nodded. I told you I'd come back. Lena shook her head. This isn't possible. You disappeared. You were gone for 10 years. For you, he said. Not for me. Where I was. Time flows differently. She stared at him, her body still, but her mind racing. Where were you? Far beyond your maps, beyond your science. I was taken by the Starborn. Starborn, she repeated. They saw something in me. Something human and something more. They taught me, changed me. I became part of them. And now, I've returned. She took a step back. Why now? He opened his hand. In his palm lay a small ring, but it wasn't made of flowers. It glowed faintly, shifting colors. Not from this world. To keep my promise. Lena stared at it, not knowing whether to laugh, cry, or run away. Eli, this doesn't make sense. You can't just come back, after 10 years, dressed like a space soldier, holding a glowing ring, and talk about promises. He looked at her, eyes full of sadness and something more. I didn't just come back for you. Something's coming, Lena. Something terrible. The Starborn have seen it. She swallowed. What is it? A reset. A force that wipes life. Clean from planets, it's moving through the stars, and Earth is next. Lena felt her knees weaken. Why me? She asked. Why tell me? Because you're the only one who ever believed in me. And because you have a choice. What choice? He stepped closer, lowering his voice. You can forget all of this. Go back to your life. Or you can come with me. Learn what I've seen. Help stop what's coming. She looked at the trees, the sky, the strange ship glowing behind them. Everything felt wrong. Or maybe everything finally made sense. This isn't about the promise, is it? She whispered. Eli's eyes softened. No. It's about more than that now. But then, suddenly, loud engines, voices, red lights in the trees. The military. They found us, Eli said. Lena turned. What do we do? He grabbed her hand. Run. Not human anymore, the forest blurred around her. Branches scratched her arms, leaves slapped her face. But Lena didn't stop. Eli ran ahead, moving like no human could. Silent, fast, not even breathing hard. Every few seconds, he would glance, back to make sure she was still with him. Behind them, the forest exploded with light. Helicopters buzzed overhead. Voices shouted through speakers, "Halt! This is a restricted zone!" But the words barely reached her. All she could hear was her heartbeat, crashing like thunder in her chest. After what felt like hours, they finally stopped, deep in the woods, far beyond where any roads reached. Lena fell to her knees, gasping for air. Eli didn't look tired, at all. She stared up at him, her voice shaking. "What? Are you?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he held out his arm. A faint blue light glowed just under his skin. He moved his hand slightly, and a holographic map appeared in the air between them. Floating shapes, symbols, stars she didn't recognize. "What is that?" Lena whispered. "A piece of the Starborn's interface. It's inside me now. Part of me." "You're a machine?" Eli looked away. "No, not fully, but not fully human anymore either." Lena stood slowly, eyes locked on the map. "How is this even possible?" He turned off the projection. "When they found me, they saw potential. Humans are unique, Lena, adaptable, emotional, full of contradiction. They believed I could bridge the gap between species, so they changed me, improved me." "Improved?" she repeated. He opened his other hand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the air shimmered, and a thin, sharp blade formed from nothing. Pure energy. It flickered like a flame. "I can do things no human can," he said. "I can connect with technology, understand alien languages, even move through certain types of energy." "But you're still you?" Lena asked. Eli closed his hand. The blade vanished. "In here," he said, tapping his chest. "Yes, everything I was. Every memory of you. Every promise I made." She stepped closer. "You could have stayed with them. Why come back?" His voice softened. "Because something worse is coming. And because I couldn't forget you." Lena looked at him, searching for the boy she once knew. He looked so different now. Taller, stronger, glowing slightly under the skin. But the way he said her name still felt the same. Before she could speak, the forest lit up again. This time, not with helicopters, with something else. Eli grabbed her wrist. "Get down!" They ducked behind a fallen log. Above the trees, a tear opened in the sky like a rip in fabric. Black, burning at the edges, flickering with lightning. A sound followed, like metal screaming underwater. "What is that?" Lena whispered, terrified. "A scout," Eli said. "From the enemy." "What enemy?" He didn't look at her. He just stared at the sky. The hollow. She waited, but he said no more. Then something dropped through the tear. It wasn't a ship. It was a shape. Long, sharp, with too many limbs and no face. It hit the ground softly, like it weighed nothing, then rose up. Sniffing the air, turning. Unnaturally, it moved without sound. "Searching," Eli whispered. "Don't move. Don't breathe." But Lena's breath caught in her throat as the creature turned toward them. For a second, it stared directly at the log. Lena's heart froze. Then, it moved on, vanishing into the trees. Only then did Eli breathe. "We have to move. Now." They started walking again, slower this time, deeper into the forest. Lena finally asked, "What are the hollow?" Eli looked at her, eyes darker than before. "They are what comes after hope. They erase planets, not for power, not for war, just because they believe the universe should be clean. Quiet, empty." Lena felt cold all over. "Earth is next?" "Yes," he said. "They've marked it." "How long do we have?" Eli was quiet for a moment. Less than a month. They kept walking. Finally, they reached an old observatory, long abandoned. Ivy covered the walls. Dust filled the air inside. Eli waved his hand and panels in the wall slid open, revealing alien tech glowing in the dark. "I've been preparing," he said. "Why here?" "Because it's close to you." Lena sat on an old chair, hands shaking. You really never forgot. Not for a second. For a while, they sat in silence. The only sound was the low hum of strange machines. Then Lena asked, "What do we do now?" Eli looked at her, face hard. "Now we fight. The secret war for 3 nights. The stars above the town no longer looked the same. They flickered in strange colors, moved in ways stars shouldn't move. People on the news called it a natural phenomenon. Others said it was solar interference. But Lena knew the truth. The sky was no longer ours. In the old observatory hidden deep in the forest, Lena sat beside Eli. She hadn't slept. Not really. Her mind kept replaying the creature from the woods, the blade of energy in Eli's hand. The sky, splitting open like torn paper. "You said there's a war," she whispered. "How long has it been going on?" Eli stood at the center of the room. He raised his hand, and the floor lit up with a projection. Vast, moving, infinite, stars, galaxies, lines drawn across space like borders. Clusters glowing red, blue, gold. "This war is older than our planet," Eli said. "Older than our sun. The Starborn were not the first. They only took the fight from others who fell before them." Lena stepped closer, staring at the map. Eli pointed to a region, a wide black void in the middle. "This," he said, "is what's left after the hollow pass-through. No stars, no light, no planets, just absence. They don't invade, they don't conquer, they cleanse." Lena's voice was low. "Cleanse? They believe life is a mistake, a noise in the universe that must be silenced. They destroy civilizations without speaking to them. They erase planets like chalk off a board." She looked up at him. "Then, how do we stop them?" Eli closed the projection. The room dimmed. "We don't, not alone. That's why I'm here." "But why Earth? Why now?" Eli walked to a corner of the room and revealed a small floating crystal. It shimmered with deep purple light. "This came from the Starborn. It contains a message. A warning. The Hollow have set their course for Earth. They will arrive soon, maybe weeks." Lena touched the crystal, feeling a pulse like a heartbeat. Why didn't the Starborn come themselves? "They can't. The Hollow's reach has grown. They're fighting on 1,000 fronts. But they sent me because I am from here. And because I've been changed, enhanced, made into something that can fight them." She turned toward him. "But what about me? I'm just human." Eli looked at her for a long moment. "That's exactly why you matter." Before she could ask what he meant, a loud hum shook the walls. Lights flickered. Dust fell from the ceiling. They both looked up. "They found us," Eli said. "Military?" Lena asked. He shook his head. "Worse." Outside, the sky was boiling, red. Trees bent from a wind that didn't touch the ground and falling from the clouds were black, thin objects, like glass arrows stabbing into the forest floor. They opened like flowers, and from them crawled machines, but not built by humans, not smooth or structured. They moved like insects but made from bone and metal. They clicked, twisted, searched. "What do they want?" Lena asked, backing away. Eli activated the defenses. Alien panels unfolded around the observatory, humming to life. "They're looking for me," he said. "But they'll destroy everything to get to us." "Then we can't stay here," she said. "We won't." He opened a hidden door behind the wall, a tunnel dark and narrow. "Come on." As they ran through the underground path, the ceiling above rumbled. The machines were trying to break through. "Eli," Lena said, struggling to keep up. "What? If we don't make it?" He didn't turn back. "We will." They burst out the other side of the tunnel into an open field. In the distance, Lena saw it, another ship, but this one wasn't broken. Sleek, hovering, waiting. Eli pressed something on his arm and the ship opened. "You can fly that thing?" Lena asked. "I built it," he replied. They flew into the sky as the observatory behind them exploded, in a ball of red fire. From above, the world looked smaller. but the shadows moving beneath the clouds. They were growing larger. Inside the ship, Lena sat silently. Eli piloted with perfect control, but even he looked worried. "We need help," Lena said. "More than just the two of us." Eli nodded. "Then it's time you saw the others." "Others?" "Yes, not everyone on Earth is unaware. Some have seen what's coming. Some are ready." He turned to her. "And Lena, they've been waiting for you." Between two worlds, the sky grew darker the higher they flew. Beneath them, Earth was a patchwork of night lights and quiet oceans. Above them, stars sharpened into clear, brilliant points, no longer dulled by atmosphere. But Lena couldn't enjoy the view. Her hands trembled on her lap. Her mind raced. The boy she once loved had come back from the stars, not as a boy, but something more. Now they were flying toward something even stranger, something he called the Ark. "Where are we going?" she asked quietly. Eli kept his eyes on the sky. "To meet the others, to learn what comes next." "Others like you?" "No," he said. "Others like you." The word stuck in her mind. The ship passed through a wall of static light. Then suddenly space unfolded. In front of them hovered a massive structure, a forgotten human space station abandoned decades ago. But it was alive now. Lights pulsed across its surface. Large shield domes glowed faintly. It looked like something out of a dream, and a warning. "We call it the Ark," Eli said. "This was once a secret Earth defense project. Humanity built it to watch the stars. But it was shut down, buried in silence. Until now." They docked at a landing bay. Inside, the station felt half alive, part human steel, part alien energy. Corridors hummed underfoot. Panels reacted to their movement. Waiting for them were three figures. A woman in a black jumpsuit with silver in her hair and fire in her eyes. A quiet man with mechanical arms, scanning Lena with glowing lenses. And a teenager no older than 17, floating slightly above the ground, surrounded by tiny orbs of light. "Welcome back, Eli," said the woman. "And this must be her." Lena stepped forward, unsure. "Me?" "The one he left for," the boy said, smiling strangely. "The one the Starborn marked." Lena blinked. "Marked?" Eli looked at her gently. "I didn't tell you everything. You weren't just important to me, Lena. You were important to them." "Why?" The woman stepped forward. "Because you're not ordinary. Something in your DNA. It reacts to Starborn tech. You connect to it. Even your drawings as a child. Those symbols you copied from Eli. Your mind was seeing things most people can't." "But I'm human," Lena whispered. "Yes," Eli said. "But not just human." He held out a small orb. It hovered in front of her, then glowed bright. And then, memories that weren't hers began to flood her mind. Stars, voices, languages she didn't know but somehow understood. She collapsed to her knees. When it ended, she was crying and laughing. "What was that?" she asked. "A key," Eli said. "And you just opened a door." They gave her time to rest. Hours passed in silence. And then came the briefing. Holograms filled the room. Maps of Earth, ship locations, time estimates. The Holo had sent more scouts. Already, strange weather. Events were happening across the planet. They were softening Earth's atmosphere, preparing it for cleansing. Earth had 3 weeks left, at most. But there was one chance. One possibility. A hidden gate, buried deep in the Pacific Trench. Older than recorded history. It had once connected Earth to the wider galactic network. It had been sealed long ago. If Lena could reach it and open it, reinforcements from the Starborn might be able to arrive in time, but the Holo were searching for it too. And if they got there first, nothing would survive. That night, Eli took her to the outer wing of the Ark, a small dome made entirely of glass. They stood looking down at Earth. "I never forgot this view," he said. "When I was out there, this was the only thing I wanted to see again. You gave up everything, Lena said. I thought I had to. But now, I'm not sure anymore. She turned to him. What do you mean? He looked at her, eyes soft but full of pain. Part of me wants to leave it all behind. Take you to the edge of the galaxy, show you the worlds I've seen, escape. And the other part knows we have to stay and fight. They were quiet for a moment. Then Eli held up something. The ring, not the flower one, not the energy one. Something new. Simple. Silver. Human. I had it made here. In case we made it through this. Lena looked at it, her heart heavy. Do you still want to marry me? She asked, half smiling. I never stopped. But then, alarms. The ship shook. Voices screamed over the intercom. Hollow breach. Gate compromised. Lena stood up, her decision made. Let's go, she said. Show me how to fight. The battle and the goodbye the sky was on fire. Not with flames, but with light. Red, silver, violet. Tearing through the clouds as if the heavens themselves were breaking open. Cities across the world looked up and saw what they couldn't explain. Some called them angels, others called them the end. But Lena knew better. They were the hollow. The harbinger had arrived. And Earth had begun to die. Its arrival bent gravity. It whispered in the minds of those who were sensitive. It carried no weapons, it didn't need them. Its presence alone drained power grids, cracked satellites, and made oceans ripple unnaturally. In the Ark's command center, the team watched as it hovered over the Pacific Trench, the exact spot where the ancient gate was hidden. They're going to destroy it, Eli said. If they erase the gate, no help can reach us and Earth will be silenced. Lena stood behind him, now wearing the custom-fitted exosuit designed by the Starborn for her unique biology. It glowed faintly in places her skin touched the panels. She was not the same girl who once drew stars on napkins. She had become something else, something more. We stop them, she said. We end this. The crew prepared for war. Fighters launched from hidden bays. The Ark, silent for decades, now moved under its own power for the first time since humans abandoned it. Above Earth, war began. Ships met in the upper atmosphere, exchanging bursts of silent energy. Earth's skies were no longer blue. They were a battlefield of stars and fire. But the true fight was deeper. Beneath the ocean, Lena and Eli descended together in a two-pilot submersible cloaked in starborn shielding. The Pacific Trench stretched below them like the scar of a god. As they neared the gate, they saw it. The Harbinger. It didn't look like a ship. It looked like a thought made real. Vast, shifting, impossible. It radiated dread like heat. Machines crawled along the ocean floor around it, digging, scanning, poisoning the ground. We're too late, Lena whispered. No, Eli said. We're right on time. He activated the controls. Their ship dove faster. We're going straight. Into its field, she asked. Yes. It can't be destroyed, but maybe it can be distracted. They exited the sub and walked along the trench floor, their suits shielding them from pressure, darkness, death. And then the gate came into view. Ancient. Circular. Half-buried. Carved with symbols she now understood instinctively. You have to touch it, Eli said. And what about you? He smiled. I'll buy us time. Before she could argue, he ran toward the machines. The Harbinger noticed him, and for the first time, it moved. Not fast, not angry, curious, like it was waking, up fully. Eli drew his blade and cut through the first wave of machines. But he wasn't just fighting with strength. He was using light, memory, sound, every part of him that the Starborn had changed. And then it spoke, not in words, in pressure, in dread. Why do you resist the silence? Eli roared in defiance, striking, again. At the gate, Lena placed both hands on the stone. Light burst through the carvings. The symbols twisted, unlocked. The sea around her began to glow. The gate is responding, said a voice in her mind. A familiar one. Her own. The gate wasn't just technology. It was alive. It was waiting for her. But the harbinger was no longer distracted. It turned and reached. Massive tendril of dark matter shaped like sorrow shot toward Lena. Eli saw it. He had seconds. He ran, not to the gate. To her. He reached her just as the tendril arrived, and he shielded her. The impact knocked the sea sideways. Darkness swallowed them both. And then, the gate opened. A beam of golden light shot into space, calling across the stars. Lena woke up moments later lying beside the gate. The harbinger was gone. Its form collapsed, recoiling from the signal. Earth was safe. For now. But Eli was fading. His body flickered like static. The enhancements had shielded her, but the price was clear. "You made me a promise," Lena whispered, holding him. Eli smiled faintly. "And I kept it." "No," she cried. "This can't be it." "I saw a future, Lena," he said, "and it wasn't filled with war. It was filled with you, with life, with love. We created that future. Together." He gave her the ring. Not glowing. Not alien, just silver. Warm. Don't let the stars forget who we were. And then, he was gone. The return 1 year later, Earth had changed, but only a few truly knew how much. Cities rebuilt what had been lost in the strange storms. Scientists argued about cosmic disruptions. Governments denied everything. The skies were quiet again. But not for her. Not for Lena. Every night she returned to the same place. The hill where she and Eli first sat as children, the place where he once said, "I'll marry you someday." She wore the ring now, not as a memory, but as a promise, a proof that love could stretch across stars, across time, across death itself. And every night, she whispered into the sky, "I'm still here," but the stars never answered. Until the night they did. The clouds parted in unnatural silence. Above the forest, a light opened. Not like a ship or a fire. Something softer, something real, but not human. The air bent. Time slowed. And then, from the light, something began to descend. Not a ship. Not a person. A signal. A presence. It hovered just above the field, flickering like a dream trying to take shape. Lena stepped forward, heart pounding. Not hope, not fear. Something deeper. Recognition. "Eli," she whispered. The light expanded, and a voice echoed, not out loud but inside her. "You opened the gate. You gave us time. Earth breathes because of you." It was many voices in one. Not human. Not alien. Both. You are more than you were. And because of that, we bring something back. The light shimmered, and then formed a body. Not like before. No armor. No mask. No alien tech. Just Eli. Real. Alive. He stepped forward, not blinking, not breathing hard, as if time had folded and returned him to the moment he left. Lena couldn't speak. She walked slowly, afraid if she moved too fast he would vanish, but he didn't. He smiled. Same eyes. Same boy. Only now. He remembered everything. "How?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. He looked up at the stars. The gate wasn't just a door, it was a beginning and an end. My mind, my memory. It was scattered into the field beyond space. But you opened the path back, and they brought me through it. "Who?" "The ones beyond the starborn," he said. "The true architects. They only answer to those who choose love over war, who choose hope over silence. You chose." She stepped into his arms. He held her like he never let go. "You left," she said. "I returned," he replied. "To marry me?" He smiled, pulled something from his coat, the silver ring, not glowing, not alien. "Human. If you'll still have me." She laughed through her tears. Always, years later, Earth joined the galactic network. But not through power, through invitation. They didn't call her commander, or soldier, or chosen. They called her the keeper of the gate. Eli worked beside her, not as a weapon, not as a hero, but as her equal. They wore no crowns, held no titles, but they were remembered as the humans who reminded the stars what it meant to feel. The same hill. 2 children ran up the slope, a boy and a girl. They stopped beside a tree where a ring had once been made from flowers. "Is the story true?" the girl asked. The boy nodded. "My mother said they fell in love before he vanished into the stars, and he came back with a ring." "Why?" The boy smiled. "Because he promised." And above them, in the sky, the stars shimmered not as fire but as witnesses.